Good morning, everyone. Hello, it's Monday. Terri Hardin, Walt Disney's legendary Imagineer here. Welcome if you're joining me live. If you're not joining me live, please post in the comments when you do join me, and I'll do my best to chat with you. Any comments that you have. Announcement would be I do an Ask Me Anything Friday. If you're new, please consider subscribing. I find that I love the people who have subscribed. I'm not really on a mission to do a gazillion followers. I just want people like you who are interested in what I have to say or curious about what's going on in my life. I'm not someone who's going to necessarily, talk about a show on TV, although I do that, stuff like that. But I'm a legendary Imagineer. Been an Imagineer since 2007. And now I am the come here, get away Imagineer, meaning that they take me out of the box when they need me and they put me back as soon as I have helped them play catch up on certain attractions. I am the mother of dragons, which means that if you've been to Paris and you've seen the dragon that resides under the castle, that's mine. A 35-foot fully articulated dragon, and that is the attraction that I built and created and pitched when I was a Disney Imagineer full-time. Now I am one of those that, more of a contractor, and it's great. It's great. It's good for both of us. Seriously, it's good for both of us. I have my own company, and I do a lot of sculptures and prototyping for people. And for people like you, I can do one-of-a-kind gifts, all kinds of crazy stuff. So Google me and you'll learn about all the stuff I'm doing. I also did Ghostbusters, Dune, Captain EO, Men in Black. Yeah, just Google me. And that's not being cheesy. It's just that if I went through everything that I've done, we wouldn't have time to talk, and I'd rather talk to you guys. So that being said, you noticed on the thumbnail, if you took a look, that there is a very strange thumbnail for today. And that is that many of you during the Ask Me Anything kind of wanted to know how I got started. And it's a long story, so I'm not going to go through the whole long story. But what I am going to do is I got my Screen Actors Guild card by doing a commercial for Philadelphia cream cheese. And I think I mentioned this, but if you have not seen that commercial, you can now pop onto my YouTube channel and click on my playlists. And it is a playlist called Early Puppet Performances. And I want to thank many of you out there who sent me my Chicken McNuggets commercials that I did. That led to meeting Jim Henson. So I sculpted the little Chicken McNuggets when they were puppets. Later, they turned into computer-generated characters. But when they were puppets back in 1982, I had the opportunity to meet Jim Henson. And that was the commercial that led me to meeting Jim Henson and becoming a Muppeteer some years later. And then also for sending me the Nanny and Isaiah series, which was really early in my career. Nanny and Isaiah, Secret of the Second Basement, Welcome the Stranger. YouTube has those on, and those are in that playlist too. So to save you Googling each and every show, this is a playlist. You can actually just play that old stuff if you want to see that old stuff, but it's there. If you are a member of my Patreon page, then you have the opportunity of joining Patreon, joining the tribe. I encourage you to do that because your voice is very, very much appreciated and needed. When I started my Patreon page, and many artists and podcasters have done this. When I started it, I wasn't quite sure what to expect, to be honest with you. I wanted to share things, and I'm still only human, so everything is not perfect. But I do really have the $5 a month, $60 a year tier down. That's the base tier, where you get 2 broadcasts every Monday. You get a Monday broadcast and a Friday broadcast before this one, and then on Wednesdays we do a Zoom call. Okay, so you get that all for $5 a month, $60 a year, and we talk about all kinds of. You get to talk with me live on a Zoom call every Wednesday. So if you want to join, please go here, patreon.com/Terri Hardin, and join us. It's a great group of people. Originally, silly me thought that most of the time you'd want to hear me speak, but what really is joyful about the tribe is that you all have such a great voice. You all have so much to share. And I love hearing about you, and you help each other and you support each other. And it's a great group. It's a hugely wonderful group. You get a private Facebook page, and many of the tribes sent me candlelight photos because I mentioned that I don't go. I don't want to take your spot. If candlelight is very important to you, I've been a couple times. So many of you sent me, and some of you sent me video. So the tribe is a great group of people, very generous. And if you have a big heart and you want to be a part of it with me, please go to this site and see. And subscribe to the channel. Okay, that's kind of what I'm talking about. So this commercial happened. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this commercial, and then we'll go into what y'all have to say, because I'm really interested in what y'all have to say. But this commercial, this little Philadelphia cream cheese commercial, was a commercial in which I had helped sculpt some of the puppets for Tony O'Brien Productions, which also did the little chicken McNuggets. And I play a talking Jello mold. And I also had my voice in some of the other areas. After I listened to it, I was like, oh, that's mine, that's mine, that's mine. It was my very first strong voiceover. Okay. I was up for the role of Figment. I don't know if I mentioned that to you. I went all the way to the final, 3 finalists, me and 2 other children. And because they didn't want to pick an actor. And then at the end, they picked Billy Barty, who is, of course, not an actor. Basically, what that tells you, if any of you are in the entertainment business, that people often don't know what they want until they hear it. So they loved our voices as children, and one of us was going to be Figment. And then the next thing you know, they gave it to Billy Barty. And now I believe the voice is still Dave Goles, who does Gonzo. So actors, they like the actors. But at the time, I think they were kind of thinking Christopher Robin, which was a child, Bambi, that was a child voice. And I was young, and I thought I might get it. And I love dragons, as you know, because I'm the designer of Dragon's Lair Paris, underneath the castle, the best castle of all the Disney parks, because it has a living, breathing 35-foot dragon, and you can go see her. So that's pretty exciting. But this commercial was another opportunity. And I wasn't cast in the commercial originally. All of a sudden, I was sitting at home in my studio apartment with my husband at the time, not this award-winning husband. This was my first husband. Another long story. And I get a phone call, a desperate phone call from Tony Urbano himself saying, Terri, I need to get down here. The producers want a voice, and for some reason, they're not liking what they're hearing. Can you get down here? It was the one day in California. It was pouring rain. And early in my career, so, studio apartment, trying to make ends meet with whatever you can do creatively, jobs you're taking, those early years when you're in your 20s, right? And pouring rain, and the only vehicle we had was a motorcycle. And we had to get from San Fernando Valley down into Hollywood. And my husband was terrific. We hopped on the motorcycle in yellow rain slickers and drove through the pouring rain. And I looked like a drowned rat when I came in. And you'll see this commercial. It's very cute. It's in the playlist. And I thought I was going to see if I could show it today. But I don't. My husband, who is in the business of entertaining, he's a award-winning cameraman and editor and filmmaker, said that intellectual property could be a problem. So it would be best not to do that. So, but the playlist, I just attached it to the playlist, and it takes you to the person who probably has the rights to do that. So I don't want to take anybody else's thunder. So that's why I'm not showing it to you today, because I don't know those rules very well, and I don't want to jeopardize anybody's intellectual property. It makes people go, and they want to protect their stuff. So let's protect their stuff, as do I. So there you have it. Anyway, go see it. It's really cute. It's really special. And it's my first one. So it was cool. It was cool. But I stood in front looking wet, and the producer said they wanted something fresh, something sweet, and not charactery. And you're going to see it. You'll laugh. Okay. That's all I'm going to say is you're going to see it. You'll laugh. So today on my tribe page, Terri's Tribe, I did an unboxing, and Michael Clark is here. I can see him in the comments. I want to show you this incredible gift that Michael Clark gave me. And I want to thank you, Michael. Want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being so sweet. So you don't have to do this. I am so grateful when somebody sends to me something special as a thank you. It's just, you don't need to do it, but I'm so glad you did. It takes me, as an artist, and those of you who are artists, sometimes you just get wrapped up in your own world and your own head. And suddenly you're like that. Okay. I've got this to do and I've got that to do. I still have to plan this and I've got to plan that. And this has a deadline and that has a deadline and blah, 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 blah. Right? Have you ever been there? If not, I'm there right now. And so gifts like came from Michael Clark, took me out of that and made me be a little kid again. So I just want to share it with you. And this is a card that he gave me. And it's so cute. Yeah, it's so cute. Isn't that cute? And then one of the things that I really loved, Michael, that I have to point out is he crossed out cutest and put imaginative. Happy holidays to the imaginative, the most imaginative creature in this or any other galaxy. And then he wrote me this lovely note. And I just want you to know that it took me out, here, let you see me, took me out of my head and helped me remember that there's people out like you out there that just take the time to tell me how you feel and how you appreciate me. You post in the comments, which I'm very grateful for. And then if you're so inclined, you send me something. So here is the box, and here is the gift. Look at this, guys. Isn't it cute? Here is the gift that Michael sent me, and I'm so, so grateful. Michael, I love this. It is so cute. And we're going to cut back to me here so you can see exactly how the size of it. Isn't it cute? It's the toasted Marshmallow Man. And for those of you who are going, huh, what? Many people have said this is my year because they did a remake of Dune. I did the 1984 Dune and stunt doubled for Sean Young, as well as built the still shoots with a team of incredible artists. And then I did Ghostbusters, my second film. Lucky me. I got cast as the dog that Sigourney Weaver turns into. And I helped build and puppeteer this Marshmallow Man, who was played by Bill Bryant. And so it's cute. Every time it pops up, I think of Bill and our team. And it was a great time in our lives. If you watch Movies That Made Us, which is one that many of you, including the people in my tribe on Patreon, recommended, I automatically went to the Ghostbusters one, and they talked about the tight deadline we had. Yeah, I remember the tight deadline. Yeah, there was a time when they wanted us to work 7 days a week while we were doing the effects, and we felt like we were contemplating the sparkliness of our tools, because when you work 7 days a week, 7 days turns into 14 days, turns into 21 days, turns into 28 days. And before you know it, you have no brain. It's mush. And so when the producers of Ghostbusters walked through, I think it was like on day 19, they saw that we were like, we were standing there going, whoa, look at the jewels sparkle. So they were realizing that adding hours to our backs was not doing it. So they went back to 1 day and 7 to rest. And we worked 6 days a week, but they were long 6 days. And then our Sunday was our day of rest. So it was a great opportunity. I thought I dropped something. I absolutely loved doing Ghostbusters. It's one of my favorite films. Sigourney Weaver was a doll. Bill Murray was a love. He pranked me and punked me. If you want, post in the comments, because Bill Murray, Ivan Reitman, but mainly Harold Ramis, who is no longer with us, gave me a jacket, a Ghostbusters jacket. They gave it to me while I was on the set. And if you want to see it, it's super cool. It's very retro because Ghostbusters was done in the 80s, as you probably heard. And now with the love letter to Ghostbusters, which is very special, I'm grateful for that you guys are out there and you love it. Many of you on Instagram have sent me your teams of Ghostbusters. Many of you have shared with me that you're building a proton pack, or you're dressing up like the Marshmallow Man, or I was at a signing where you can get an autographed picture of my Ghostbusters thing. And you can go to my website and buy one if you want. It's $20 and I autograph it. But anyway, I saw a little girl dressed as a Ghostbuster. She must have been 3, and her brother, who must have been 4, was dressed as the Marshmallow Man, or may have that reversed. And then their little stroller was dressed as the Ecto-1. So people who weren't even born at the time that I shot this movie are so in love with this movie, and it touches my heart how much you all love it. And then to see a love letter by Jason Reitman, son of Ivan Reitman, it's more than tongue can tell. You know, it's exciting that you guys love it so much. And we did it in 1983, 84. And we did it fast. So if you get a chance to see the movies that made us, that is the title of the show. And I checked it out. It's wonderful. And I was really touched by the Ghostbusters segment. I'm not in it, and I should be, but oh well. You can't find everybody when you're trying to do a documentary. Where is that dog? But I still did it, and I really enjoyed it. And I got to meet and do some wonderful things. My Ask Me Anything Friday is a great time to ask me about Ghostbusters, because I don't really talk that much about the technical side. I can. Like, for example, the Gozer the Gazarian apartment building, which you can see in New York. They asked us, should we blow it up? Should we blow it up? Should we blow it up? Are we done shooting the miniature? We blew it up, and then they went, and they had to rebuild it all over. I say we, but I was not part of the model team, but they had to build it a second time. So that's the technical side of Ghostbusters that I can share with you on my Ask Me Anything that I do on Fridays. But also I talk about the heart of the people that were there. Sigourney Weaver's heart, Bill Murray's heart, Ivan's heart. Every single person there had a super big heart. And it was my first film. So it was a real, here's a young kid who's wanted to be in the film and got this great role as the Terror Dog, and Sigourney Weaver Terror Dog. And so we can talk about that. They were also at Boss Films. You'll hear about Boss Film. It was great for me to see, because I have not seen these people that I worked with in years. And they were some of them were so adorable. Richard Edlund, who is shaved. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even recognize him. I was really just tickled to death to see my old friends on there, people I worked with. And it was cool. But yes, lots of stories. And while we were there, 2001, you may have remembered that movie. They were shooting the sequel, 2010 is what we called it. And I did the Star Baby puppeteering on that. So they knew I was puppeteering, and they knew I was a puppeteer, and they just pulled me over and had me do that. So if you want to hear stories about stuff like that, then join us for Fridays. Ask Me Anything. And again, Michael, thank you for this. It's so sweet and cute and adorable. I love it. I do. I love it. Thank you. And my friend Josiah gave me this mug. Can you guys see this mug? Let me turn the light on. Did anyone know there was such a mug out there? This is a Captain EO cereal mug. And this is Michael Jackson right here saying it's so delicious. Isn't it cute? He's in his outfit. And then it has free Hooter toy inside. Isn't it cute? Okay. So when I have mugs like this, I put my brushes and pencils inside. So this was really sweet of him to send me this. And then he sent me a bunch of stuff, but he also sent me this. I thought I'd share a couple of things. Also sent me this mask so I could be safe while saying, not the mama. This is the character I played on Dinosaurs, the TV show. I was Baby's Arms. So you guys are just spoiling me. And I just want to thank you for thinking of me, for taking the time to ship. Takes a lot, and it's just, I just want to say thank you to you for that. Okay, thanks a lot. And go see that commercial. It's really fun. Check that playlist out. Early puppet stuff. You're going to see some of my really early puppet stuff that actually holds up pretty well. Nanny and Isaiah series, which we talked about last Friday, and thank you for sending those to me, is my friend Pat Breimer. He plays Isaiah, and he's gone now. My mentor and puppet love, Pat Breimer, and I miss him every day, and I love him so much. And we had a great time filming that. We did it in St. Louis for a wonderful company called Concordia, and it's a series of Christian shows, and it basically talks about the birth of Jesus, and it's not real smarmy. It's real. It's pretty real. And that's why I liked it so much. So check it out if you feel like it. Right here, right on the YouTube channel. Okay? Just Google Terri Hardin and you'll find it. Okay. All righty, let's hear what you have to say today. Again, Michael, there it is. Did I show it to you? Oh, so sweet of you to send it. You were also very sweet. You reached out to me and said, did I get it? I actually got it on Saturday, but I wouldn't open it. I actually unboxed it with my tribe today on Patreon, and they just really loved it. But I wanted to make sure that people saw your gift. So I want to thank you for that. That's very nice of you to see it, think of me, and send it. And all of you who send a good word or a nice email or a nice comment, all of it, and the gift, it takes me out of myself, because right now I've got a few heavy deadlines. I'm working on the Rolly Crump chess set. I'd like to get the second piece to the manufacturer, to my mold makers, and then actually not to the manufacturer, it's going to the mold makers. They're going to do an art proof. So I have the art proof of the queen, and I think I showed that to you, the red queen, and they're going to be red queen and the bone color queen. So that's the colors, bone, white or off-white, and red. And now I'm working on the Candleman, because he is by far the most challenging character. Let me show you what, I'll talk a little bit about my challenge here. Those of you who love Rolly Crump, I am doing a chess set called the Museum of the Weird, which is his. It's never been done as a chess set. He sculpted a few pieces. It is the artwork that Rolly Crump, Disney legendary Imagineer, Disney legend Rolly Crump, let me say it right, Disney legend Rolly Crump, showed Walt, and actually Walt was frightened. So if you watch Behind the Attractions on Disney Plus, and many of you do, Rolly showed this to Walt, and Walt said it kept him up at night, and it is what helped Walt to do the decision of making it scary instead of silly and fun and a little bit on the goofy side, which would have been cute too, actually. But I'm glad he made it more scary. So here is a shot that I was lucky enough to pull up. The Candleman is very challenging for me. And but you can see that he really doesn't look like a melting candle here to me. He looks more, I'm not quite sure what he looks like, but it doesn't, he is drawing, everything just doesn't look drippy enough. So there's my challenge. And I spoke with Rolly about it. He kind of looks more like lattice work, not sure, but I was really happy to get this, because it's kind of, I can't do the see-through like is here, because it makes it too fragile to be a chess piece. So that's my challenge, is I have to work it so that it changes enough to be a chess piece, because people will put their fingers on the top. They would snap off these beautiful candle things that are here. You can see in the sculpture, they tried to do it a little more so that they didn't snap off, et cetera, et cetera. So Rolly understands this, but we do want to have that drippy feeling. And here I'm not feeling the drippy. So, and neither was he when I showed him my first pass at it. So I'm working on it. Okay. I'm working on it. And Rolly and I and his lovely wife are going to be meeting again tomorrow. We're going to have another Zoom call conference, and I want to get him done. And when he's done, I'll show him to you. I'll show him Friday. Just ask me on the Ask Me Anything, remind me, and I'll let you see him if he's not away getting molded. Because if, you know, when Rolly loves him, I'm getting him there so that I could have a nice little break and have some Christmas with my family, knowing that that is in production. The idea is to get this done because it's a very special set, and I want Rolly to be able to hold them in his hands. So I'm on a mission. So I'm feeling like really revved up, deadlines. I've got a few other things that I've got to do as well. And yeah, it's sometimes your camel is a little bit laden, you know, and you're worried about your back breaking. So what I'm trying to say, Michael, is you sending this gift, and those of you who have sent beautiful Christmas cards and sent, you know, just good wishes, I want you to know it takes me out of myself and gives me a chance to kind of breathe and realize it's the holidays and that I should rest. In fact, Rolly and his wife said, you should be resting. So I told them the 14th I would show it. And it really depends on the conversation I have with Rolly as to whether or not we're going to have another conference before the holidays, or if I'm going to wait and say, I'll talk to you in the new year. Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of work. It's so much detail, but that's my world, actually. So again, Michael, thank you. Thank you so much. Good morning, Michelle Donnell. How are you? Also a part of my tribe. Michael, part of the tribe. Good morning, Michael. Hello, Bill Evans. Thank you very much for wishing me to feel better after my open heart surgery. Well, of course, Bill. Love you. Happy holidays to you and your family. Same to you, Bill. And how are you doing? How are you feeling? It's great to see you here today, but you bet. I'm always good for a good wish. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Good to see you. Hi, Terry D. Hi, Terry. Hi, Terry from David. It's Monday. What can I say? And Bob Burdine, part of the tribe. You see, it's truly a joy to be part of the group. Now, Bob Burdine brings to Terry's tribe a voice that's so thoughtful and helpful, because he and his wife, Rose, are givers. All right. They volunteer for just about everything and anything, and they support their community. Bob Burdine was just telling me recently that he had to step down from something that he and Rose have done for a long, long time, and that it made him very sad, because he is a real, I mean, if you guys need someone to help you with your charity, they always step up, you know, and then I've always told them, as I tell everybody, if you've got a charity event, you need someone to come and be a part of it, reach out to me. Okay. Because I love charity events as well. And it helps me to give back. So Bob's voice in the tribe is very welcome and very beneficial to all of us. And it's about an artist with a different mindset. Okay. So the way he paints, the way Rose works, is through their philanthropistic efforts. That's a big word, right? But it's true. It's very true. And anytime I need to remember that I should be giving back at times, and it's not that I forget, we just get wrapped up in ourselves, and then we're like, you know. For example, we were talking about haters, and Bob and Rose and I have had this conversation where, as human beings, we absorb the negative like a sponge. And I'm not sure why we do that, but we do. So like, you can have thousands and thousands of people say that you're benefiting them, that you're sweet, you're wonderful, complimenting you. And then one person says something nasty and you just obsess about it, right? You just obsess on that person. Don't do that. Okay. Don't give them that. Don't validate them so much. Just no, that's one person, and it could have nothing to do with you. Okay. Absolutely nothing to do with you. It could have everything to do with something that's going on in their life. So don't jump to the conclusion that their behavior is on you. Now, if they say something directly to you on one of these postings, and just I wouldn't acknowledge it. A perfect example is, you know how much I love Ted Lasso. And I have to show you something that Josiah sent me. Yes, I showed you the mug, but look at what Josiah sent me. Because I'm a super fan of Ted Lasso. I'll turn a light if you're having a little trouble seeing it. Isn't it the cutest thing ever? I totally love it. I think at the back I'm going to write "Be Curious, Not Judgmental," which is one of the episodes that he does that is my favorite, one of my favorite, first season, and I love it. So I have this. But the point is, there were people that posted to him, one or two, that said they hated this show. And I think he should just leave it alone. Don't even give them any airtime, because it's a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant show. And it's going to do for television what Star Wars did for films. So if you haven't seen it, it's only $5, $4.99 to get a month of Apple TV. Binge it. It's worth your time, but really watch it. Don't fall asleep. I had a friend who fell asleep through it. He's like, I don't think it was that big of a deal. And I asked him pertinent questions because I love this show. And he all of a sudden said, I don't remember that. And I made him go watch it again. You have to watch this show. This is not a show that you listen to. You must watch it. Sit down, watch Ted Lasso. It is going to be so good for you. It's going to put good, yummy, wonderful feelings into your body. If you're feeling kind of meh, it's going to do that for you. So my point is, don't let someone who said a negative thing to you, because you don't know what their agenda is. Okay. And as human beings, we go, oh, somebody says, oh, you're so talented. You're so this, you're that, or whatever they're saying to you. And you go, no, come on. So stop that. Absorb the love that people give you and say, thank you. Okay. You deserve it. Absorb the good stuff and don't listen to the bad stuff. As my father always said, poison isn't effective unless you take it. Poison isn't effective unless you take it. So don't take it. Okay? All right, Mr. Sudeikis? Because I love that show. Love it, love it, love it. So again, Bob Burdine is really super and wonderful. Leo's there too. Leo is our wise owl. And so on the tribe, it's often to hear some of the things that Leo has to say. And everybody's great. So come join us if you're so inclined. $5 a month, $60 a year. It's worth it. Believe me, I over-deliver. And it's cool. Glad you enjoyed it. I did, Michael. I did. Oh my gosh. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm going to put it here in my shop. And that's where a lot of these wonderful gifts go. And I'm just touched and flattered that you took the time. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Angie, thank you very much. I wish you a fantastic week. It's so good to see you. Crystal, show you the jacket. Remind me on Friday and I will. Okay? I will be happy to show you the jacket. Yeah, it's very retro. It's so retro. I have another jacket. I went to a party, an 80s party years ago. This is way before the pandemic. And people said, dress up in your favorite 80s gear. So young people have to go, don't you? You have to go somewhere. Maybe you even have to Google what were the 80s. I don't know. I'm not going to put that on you. Maybe you already know what the 80s are. But I have this fabulous jacket. It's a Michael Jackson-y kind of Sgt. Pepper Bee Gees kind of a jacket. And I wore it and everybody flipped over it. They were, oh my God, where'd you get that jacket? Oh my goodness. And I said, I bought it in the 80s. So I still have my 80s jacket because I couldn't get rid of it. And I still won't get rid of it because I still love it. But I wear it and people are like, it's amazing. And it's like, it's actually a jacket from the 80s. So I was born in 1957. So the 80s, I was in deep into the 80s. And so I graduated at high school in the 70s. So yeah, almost 65. I'll be 65 next year, which is why I'm so impressed with how many people love Dune and Ghostbusters that really weren't around when those movies happened. So very, very touching. You know, it's really nice that you guys love them and tell me how much you love them. So thank you. Good to see you, Crystal. Leo says, Dick Van Dyke's birthday. What is his age? Isn't he like, what is he now, Leo? He's 90. 90 what? 90. I know a few years ago I was going to do something for his 90th birthday and that fell through. I was supposed to do a sculpture and it didn't happen, but I've lost track. Oh, and he's just as spry as ever, isn't he? Just amazing. It's amazing what dancing will do for you. Can I take a minute here? I'm going to pour myself a cup of tea. Oh, whoops, things are falling. I'm knocking them down. I was going to run into the house and pour myself a cup of tea when I remembered that I have this amazing teapot and I can pour myself a cup of tea right here. And this is thanks to my Terry's Tribe member, Deanna, who suggested that if I wanted a warm cup of tea, I should get a hot plate that warms it up. There we go. And a teapot that actually does it out here, which is very nice. Which is very nice. I got to remember I'm on a different microphone because we're working out some kinks in a microphone that I have that's not working. It malfunctioned. They didn't malfunction, but the interface system malfunctioned. So I'm on something different. So I have a microphone over here and over here. So if I walk around, you can hear me, but I can't do that today because we are challenged with our microphone. So just give me a minute. I'm making some tea here. You know, see, I learn from you guys in the tribe. And I'm so blessed to have that opportunity to learn from you guys. So I can have my tea out here while talking to you, which keeps me, I was sure I'm looking for my additive. Oh, well, it'll show up. But anyway, so now I have a super hot cup of tea. I can set the temperature. So I learn and they learn, and I'm grateful to it. So Leo, let me know about what his age is now. Because I think it was about, I'm kind of thinking he's like 95. Am I too far? Love Dick Van Dyke. Love Dick Van Dyke. And a generous soul, Dick Van Dyke. Let me see if I can show you. I think I can put it, I think it's in favorites, actually. If it's not, I can find it a different way, but let's see if it's in my favorites. See if it's in my favorites. I'm having trouble finding it, actually. But here it is. Let's see if it's in here. I've got me and Guillermo, but I don't have me and Dick Van Dyke. Isn't that terrible? I'll fix that. I will, I promise. I'm going to fix that for sure. Let's see if I have it here. See, I'm terrible. I do not have him in here, and I should. Let me look under presentations. I'm just looking because I wanted to show you this, but I don't know if I'm gonna, I feel terrible that I don't have it in here. It's a shame on me, shame on me, shame on me. I'll fix that during the I'll do it during the Ask Me Anything. I'll show you this great. Happy birthday. Thank you for sharing that with me on Leo, because yeah, that's one of the things that I'm absolutely very, very proud of, is I got to have, I don't know if it's even in here, but I'll fix that because I can't believe I don't have it in here. It's just embarrassing. Can't have everything, can't think of everything, which is one of the reasons I'm so grateful to you guys for keeping me on track, because I can't remember everything. And I get excited about stuff and want to share everything with you guys, and then I can't remember, and And this is a kind of a crazy time of year because, yeah, it's not in here. I will definitely show it to you guys later. But yeah, let me know, Leo, because that's, I'm here too, Stephen. Thank you. Stephen has been sending me emails to help me with a gift from my husband. Don't say it here because this is the public channel, but I found something for my husband, just a little something to give him. And thank you, Stephen, who helped me. And Jacob, did you get the email I sent? Yes. And Jacob is responsible for finding the Nanny and Isaiah. So if you go on to YouTube, my YouTube channel, click on playlist, I have grouped them in the playlist. So you can either you can either search for Nanny and Isaiah or Chicken McNuggets or Jacob. I found my very first commercial I did for Philadelphia cream cheese. And I should actually put the envelopes in there because those are the two things that got me my SAG card. So thank you. My humblest thanks to you for that. Video froze. Well, hopefully it unfroze because everything is cool here. So thank you, Terry, for your kind words. Means so much to us. Rose says hello. Hello, Rose. And it's not that it's not, deserved, right? You on Star Wars. Me on Star Wars. Yes. Yeah. Boy, that pot makes it really nice and hot. Love it. Okay, there we go. Woohoo! I never got to be on the original Star Wars, but I'm definitely a Star Wars geek and am in George Lucas's book Skywalking. So I am known as the Star Wars gal. Yeah, I saw it 183 times when there was no video, no internet, and no DVDs, nothing. All at the movie theater. Yeah, and you want to know about that? Ask me on Ask AMA Friday. I'll be happy to tell you about it. Thank you, Michael. What's your favorite Christmas album? One you listen to every year? Okay, albums that I listen to every year. It's not so much an album. However, let's take, Jacob, your question. I'll do it today. Anything Nat King Cole. Yeah, I have a Victrola. I used to have a Victrola, actually. Don't have it anymore. And I would play Nat King Cole's Christmas album on the Victrola. So you had the sound from the needle on the Victrola with the big horn. And it was pretty awesome. Yeah, it was beautiful. And Burl Ives' Holly Jolly Christmas. But there are tracks that I listen to. So we talked about that on the Ask Me Anything Friday. There's a particular Little Drummer Boy I listen to. And yeah, Nat King Cole like crazy. I mean, when you know how you can put it up on the TV now. So any album Nat King Cole sings, I'm in. Yeah, I'm so in. Just love it. Just love it. Thank you for that question. You are the same age as me. And I kept a jacket I love too. Sally, you got to show it. You have to show it to me. You can post it and then tag me on it. Yeah, I have so many jackets from my film career, and I'm not so sure what to do with them. In California, we don't get that cold for a baseball jacket, but I've got Flintstones. I've got, I've got so many because that's what they gave you when you did a movie. I have Rampaging Trilobites from Dinosaurs. That's such a cool jacket. That is a cute jacket. I love that jacket. Whenever it's cold, that's the one I usually pull out. I've got Disney jackets, Walt Disney Pictures, Walt Disney Imagineering, Jim Henson jacket with Kermit the Frog on the back, which I'm never giving up. Yeah, Walt Disney Imagineering in pink, Walt Disney Imagineering in white, Walt Disney Pictures in white. Dinosaurs doesn't do a baseball jacket. They did a jean jacket, so I have that. Rampaging Trilobites, which was the team that Robbie was on, that's in a baseball jacket, and I also have that in a sweatshirt somewhere. And yeah. So I've got jean jackets. I also have bathrobes that are dinosaurs, say dinosaurs on them. So a lot of people gave like a lot of really super great gifts, and I love them. I'm so grateful, but I just don't know what I should do with them. because now I have so many, I couldn't possibly wear them if I sleeve to sleeve. They would go. My Ghostbusters jacket is super special. I have a Captain EO jacket that was made for me. So yeah, so really, really cool, really cool. If you want to see them this Friday, remind me and I'll make sure that I show them. Okay. 96. Okay. Yeah, I was going to guess 95 because his 90th birthday, I was going to be commissioned to do a sculpture for him to celebrate his 90th. And it fell through at the last minute, which is too bad. I would have loved to have done it. I had a really clever idea to surprise him with, but the whole thing fell through a little bit. They restructured it and I didn't get to go do that. But I did get to meet him and got to speak with him and talk with him one-on-one, which was just lovely. And so that was terrific. And so now happy birthday to Dick Van Dyke. That's really cool. 96. May Rowley follow in your footsteps. 96. Yeah, exactly. Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you, Leo. Jacob says, I love the 80s. I was born in the wrong decade. I was born in 1999. But how nice is that? I call that the hitchhiking ghost year, right? The Haunted Mansion year. 999 ghosts. And you had to put that one on there, right? 1999. Congratulations. Yeah. Well, many young people like you, Jacob, love the 80s. And that's one of the reasons they love the 80s. They love the 50s. I know that I had a garage sale just before the pandemic with my friend Josie. And Josie has a lot of 1950s things like a percolator. You remember the percolator? Good to the Last Drop, the coffee percolators. She had 3 brand new ones and then some really cool furniture from the 50s and the 60s. And the young people came out of the woodwork and bought it all up. They were so tickled to get that classic stuff. And they kept asking for a Christmas tree that was made out of aluminum. Do you remember, those of you who are closer to my age, you remember those aluminum Christmas trees that were silver and you stuck in each branch in that aluminum pole? Josie has one. She was not selling it. But because she loves it, it's very special to her. She was keeping it, but the kids all gave her number and said, if you decide to sell it, please, 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 we want it. So you guys out there love these early eras, which is why I'm always saying Disneyland should preserve what Walt saw and change all the other parks. Like grow, but grow like the Haunted Mansion grew, where you are bringing in the Hatbox Ghost because it can be done now, or the bride with the husbands that disappear. Just improve on that attraction and let it grow or let them grow, as opposed to changing everything. Because when you change something, we erase Walt, and we don't want to do that because there is no more Walt Disney Vision. Walt died before Walt Disney World was ever, open. So if you preserve Disney like a little jewel of what Walt saw, then people could take their kids and their family and walk through and do a walk in the Walt Disney's footsteps throughout the entire park. You can actually recreate walking out of the back of the castle, like that famous Walt Disney picture you all love, where Walt's, walking out the back of the castle. You can do that. You can actually cosplay Walt and walk out the back of the castle and recreate that picture, because that is Disneyland still. Okay. So that's my fight to preserve Disneyland, because we have, Hong Kong, Tokyo, California Adventure Park, Walt Disney World, and everything that's in Walt Disney World, Paris and Shanghai. You can change those parks because Walt never walked there. But I really feel like you should preserve Disneyland. That's just my personal opinion. I welcome yours. Joe Penny, Terry, you've become Yoda. Puttering around and making tea. I'm getting strong Jedi Master vibes here. Thank you. Yes, indeed. That is true. I am a wild and crazy yeah, my Star Wars-y stuff. My Star Wars is showing, isn't it? Yes, indeed. Let me show you guys something really quick, if I can find it. It's always it's always me going, well, if I can find this, I'll show it to you. I'd really love to show it to you if I could find it. But it's always about, can I find it and show it to you is the problem, is the challenge, right? It's the super challenge. Yeah. I'm just checking to see what I've got and where I've got it. Here we go. Here's a few things that you can see. Star Wars. Since we're bringing up Star Wars, thank you, Joe. Let's just point out a couple of things here. Went to see Star Wars as a young girl, sat and saw it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. And I'm in Skywalking. So here are the sketches I did while sitting in the theater. This is young Luke Skywalker, and this is a stormtrooper I sketched in there, while I also wrote down every name I possibly could. Here I am cosplaying as the other Hope with my Yoda puppet that I made using scissors. Here I am sitting here waiting to go on stage as the new Hope with my little sticker. Looks like it says Saturday. It's probably, but I made my gun belt. I made my lightsaber. I made everything. And then here I am in a book. The LA Times put out a book in 2015 called A Galaxy All Their Own. You can still try to get this book. And if you were someone who stood in line in the 70s and 80s for Star Wars, you could be in this book. So you might want to find it. Anyway, this is me on the day after standing 3 days to see Empire Strikes Back to get the first ticket, which I did in Hollywood, California. When I tell you that I am the Star Wars girl, it's not a lie at all. And here is the picture of me crying. You can see that hair there. It was coast to coast. 22-year-old freelance artist from Sun Valley, 178 times. There actually, it's more, but they didn't read the book. And there I am, all excited, wearing a lovely shawl that somebody gave me with Stitch all over it. And then I'm holding up the book at a Disneyana show and sale, which are fun. So lots of cosplay, lots of action, lots of cool stuff. But I thought you'd like to see that as a Star Wars person. Yeah, I'm wild and crazy, just like you guys. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh, and here we go. See, if I talk about something else, I find it. There I am with Dick Van Dyke. So there we are chatting. This is 90th. Yeah. Cool, huh? Yeah, I was very pleased. So thank you. Happy birthday, Dick Van Dyke. I'll probably post that picture and say that to him. Happy birthday, Dick Van Dyke. La, 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 la. Yeah, that's nice. The commercial I'm talking about, Jacob, is called Philadelphia Cream Cheese. Okay. And if you go to, or if you're on YouTube, if you look at my channel and click on my playlist, it's called Early Puppet Performances. And it's a Philadelphia cream cheese commercial I did in, it says the 80s. I actually did it in 1979 and it aired in the 80s. But I play a talking jelly mold. I say, isn't it silly not to use Philly? Isn't it silly not to use Philly? And I went into that, got me into the Screen Actors Guild. And I will tell that whole story Friday if you want to know the whole story. But watch it now. My patrons get to watch it on the Patreon. I linked it on my Patreon page. 96 today. Yes, 96. Thank you, Jacob. You and Leo are on it. So 6 years ago, I had that picture. Yes. It's true, Joe. It's true. And I remember, Joe, you were really good with the puns. You were punning quite a bit in my early times on Facebook and YouTube. Well, what about that? I did something. Nanny and Isaiah, it's about time. Phew, finally. Just kidding. No, Jacob, you did a great job. I actually got to watch, Secret of the Second Basement. And what child is that? I can't remember the other. It wasn't Secret of the Second Basement. Welcome the Stranger. So you showed me Welcome the Stranger, which is the story of the birth of Jesus. And Nanny plays a little shepherd girl. That's my character, talking about the birth of Jesus. And we shot it next to the Mississippi River in St. Louis. And at one point I was doing my puppet and and you lay down. You lay down where it's a night shoot, but we were laying down, so you got this beautiful lighting. And if you guys want to see this again on my playlist, Early Puppet Performance, thanks to Jacob, you've got the Nanny and Isaiah stuff. But my arm was up in the air, and all of a sudden it went poof like that, like I had been hit in the face with a rock, or my puppet had been. And when I looked down, there was a moth about this big on her face. It looked like the face hugger from Alien, and it had just decided it liked her and poof, hit my puppet. Cut and get the moth off her face. So there's lots of little memories I have there. Because it was a night shoot, and I love scary movies, I would walk around in the dark and go, killers are coming. Killers are coming. Killers are coming. And people would go, stop that. It's creepy. And that was from Prom Night, a film that I happen to like with Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah, I like that movie. I love that vinyl sound. Yeah, me too. Me too. I had it this morning, and people said, yeah, we're kind of done with that sound. Change your microphone. Charlie Brown Christmas album is very nice too. Yeah. Yeah. And Charles Schultz loved the piano, as you know. So it's all of that is great. So yes. I also had the Star Wars Christmas album. Did you know they made one? I don't have it anymore. I sold it, but apparently you need to do an art installation of your jackets. Hey, that's an idea. That could be cool. Wouldn't that be fun? I wonder if anyone would be even interested in an art installation of my jackets. But it's a good idea, Crystal. I'll have to think more on that. It's very cool. In a museum of modern art. Yeah, I got to think about that, because right now they're just wrapped up really tightly and not really doing anybody much good right now. So yeah, as I dig through stuff and start to tell people, this is here, anybody interested? Yeah. Your retro style is in now. Exactly, Jacob. It is. I mean, I wear that 80s jacket and everybody goes, wow. They really go gaga over it, because if you remember the Bee Gees and the Sgt. Pepper thing they did in the 80s, where the top Bee Gee is wearing that coat with all the buttons, his is red, mine's black. But yeah, it's funny how things come back full circle. Yeah, I really got a lot of compliments on it, and I told them the reason is because it's from the 80s. Steven says, I was working at Bob Baker's when Figment was born. Oh, we had to hot knife, mismatched scale, silicone parts sent over by Disney. He had a ton of melted scar lines under the yellow sweater, kind of like Frankenstein. Yeah, Bob Baker did a lot of stuff for Disney. He didn't necessarily always talk about it, but I remember in the later years when I was doing Tinkerbell Tiptoeing Across the Map, a sculpture that I did for the they wanted it for the 45th, but then Disney people, merchandise people only wanted to make one. And I said, no, we can't just make one, because it won't be fair. It won't be good. So later on, she was released in August of 2005, and she went on to be sold. They sold 2,500 of them. Thank you, Linda Vota, who was my representative and still, I think, is a good representative for Disney. But she was mine, and it was great to have her there to brainstorm with, because we came up with some great ideas for collectors, and I wish they'd do that today. But I don't know if they're listening to Linda. A lot of times they don't necessarily have sculptors in the pass holder events anymore, because a sculpture is a lot more challenging to reproduce than a painting. As you know, you can do a giclée with a painting, a litho with the painting. With a sculpture, you've got to have the base and the cover, and the piece has to be reproduced. So they're a lot more challenging to do sculptures. As a result, Disney doesn't do quite as many sculptures anymore. It's too bad. It's too bad that they don't do them as much as they can. And if they do, a lot of times they come from people like Kevin and Jody, which are very beautiful work. So follow Kevin and Jody, and you can get some of that Disney stuff. Chris says, oh my God, yes, we have a couple of those trees. Before the old fire in 1976, I used the white aluminum tree we had and decorated with red and blue ball ornaments, gold tinsel garland for the bicentennial year. Yeah. Yeah, Crystal, they're huge. They're absolutely so popular. Josie got tons of phone numbers of people, and they were all, I'd say, in their 20s. Most of the people that wanted this tree were in their 20s. So if you have one, talk to 20-year-olds, talk to the young kids. They want it. Good idea. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. What can you get a Wookiee for Christmas when he already owns a comb? I don't know, Joe. What? See, Joe is good with these. I'm glad he's back with that, right? What should I know Bob Baker from, says Jacob. Bob Baker had Bob Baker Marionette Show. He used to have a huge theater. They still have the theater, right, Stephen? The theater still is there, and I think his successors are still doing shows, but they're not as I understand it, and Stephen, you may want to weigh in on this, they're not as many, because of course we lost Bob Baker, and he but when I was 16, I went and auditioned for him, and he said he didn't want to hire girls because they always leave, which was kind of, not a fun thing to say. But then later he met me again, because, just because one person tells you no, you don't let that stop your career if you really want to do it, right? You just keep going. All right. You just keep doing. Okay. If somebody tells you, for example, somebody says to you that there is a way to be a ventriloquist and the dummies that you use need to be the classic creepy ones, which is, they don't say it's creepy. I think they're creepy. And you want to do a special puppet instead, don't let them tell you you can't, okay? Because you can, all right? And you've seen it on America's Got Talent. People like Terry Fader. He had his own characters built, and they weren't those creepy ventriloquist dummies, were they? And Waylon Flowers and Madam, that's a very unique looking puppet. Waylon didn't do ventriloquism, but Waylon proved that as a puppeteer, you don't need to be a ventriloquist. You just have to be more compelling with your character than you are yourself. And then that's going to make people look at your character no matter how hard they try to do otherwise. Yes, indeed. Steven says, King Hall used music from Star Wars Christmas album as parts of the holiday season shows. See? Told you there was a Star Wars Christmas album. Years ago, before I sold my collection for a lot of money, I had 16 different albums with the theme from Star Wars played on everything from the pan flute to the accordion to the zither. I know it's a weird collection, but I was a Star Wars geek. So I collected every album. And then I met someone geekier than me, because that person bought that whole collection. Yeah. The Story of Star Wars, one of my favorite albums that I had, and I almost kept it, but then I decided someone else would really love it, was The Story of Star Wars in Japanese, which I absolutely adored, where Darth Vader was, that cadence. And the girl, Princess Leia, was like, oh no, kudasai. It was a great album. I listened to it all the time. So David says, I have a handful of Broadway jackets, Wicked, Peter Pan, Rent. I have over 100 hats from TV. You notice I can't. My dreadlocks are too fat. I can't do it. But he says 100 hats from TV show from the 90s. What a great crew gift. Indeed. What a great crew gift. The one jacket I don't have that I keep begging is Foster Farms. So Foster Farms usually gives us something lovely when we do the chickens, but we keep saying, could we have a jacket? Could we have a jacket? Could we have a jacket? And on my ceiling, you can't see it, but they gave me a poster that's 5 feet tall saying, thank you for doing over 40 commercials. And it's fabulous. Okay. I'm not going to say it's not, but it's so big. I could have put it on my door. It could have been a door almost. And we would have loved to have had a jacket, just because we could let everybody know we're chickens. We're very proud of being the Foster Farms chickens. The Wookiee comment was the title of one of the songs from the Star Wars. Oh, I see. I guess you forgot. I sold my collection, my entire Star Wars collection, for 6 figures in 2007, Joe. So yeah, I forgot. Yeah, my whole collection went. Yeah, it was auctioned off. Yeah, yeah. And then I took my husband for Japan to Japan for a month, so he could see Tokyo Disneyland and Disney Seas, because he's a big Nautilus fan, 20,000 Leagues Nautilus fan. And if you haven't been to Japan and haven't been to the Mysterious Island area, no, just saying, go if you like the Nautilus and 20,000 Leagues. So that's what we did. We went to the upper tip of Japan and worked our way down, going through various places and meeting artists of every walk of life. Stopped at the Tezuka Museum, the father of anime, and then at the Studio Ghibli. And I bought everything that I could there. Loving Miyazaki and everything about Miyazaki, and loving seeing his studio. Is beautiful. But yeah, so yes, I forgot. It's in Highland Park on York Boulevard. There you go. That's the Bob Baker Marionette stage, and they do shows. Yeah, Stephen knows all about it, because Stephen is puppeteer, knows everything puppet. He seems to know so much about puppets, right, Stephen? I got a mini version of one of those trees with the color. It's so very beautiful, the way the color just reflects on the ceiling. Yes, and bounces off of the aluminum tinsel-like branches. Yeah, super cool. It was interesting to have a big tree like that. In fact, if you watch Charlie Brown Christmas, he walks through and knocks on an aluminum tree, doesn't he? It's a cone. Because, imagine trying to animate that spindly silver tree. So they did a representation of the aluminum, and he knocks bunk, bunk, and that kind of brings us back to that. So, yeah. Color wheel, no, I got it. Thank you for clarifying, but I got it. You've got the Star Wars Disco album. Awesome. I think I still have the Star Wars CDs. I'm not sure. I could be wrong about that, but I might still have that. And that's because I couldn't find it when I was selling off my collection. But I think I have the box set of Star Wars CDs, the music from the original films. But I'll have to look. I could be wrong about that. I could be absolutely, speaking of memory, Joe. But I'll see if I can find it and I'll show it. I grew up going to Bob Baker marionette shows, usually at Christmas time. I remember he had a skeleton that did a dance to the song Tijuana Taxi. Did you hear that, Stephen? Yeah, Bob and his people were great. And I went to a convention that I always get mixed up with Scream convention. And I think it was called Hollywood Scream or Scream Fest. Anyway, forgive me if you are part of this convention. It was a while ago. And everywhere was really scary. Everything, like people's, walking around with eyeballs dripping and zombies and teeth and scary stuff. That people with their little children would run to my booth, because my booth said Disney Imagineer TERRI HARDIN and had like a Disney castle behind it. And it was all sweet and cute. It was like an oasis in the middle of the zombie apocalypse. So people would go, oh, thank God, and just absorb the Disney beauty, because they were just getting creeped out all the way around. It was a great convention where they wanted me to talk about puppets and puppet shows. And many people were puppeteers who did like escape rooms with puppets and did shows like Bob Baker did. And at the end, Alex, who was in charge of the Bob Baker shows doing it, did a show at this convention. He did like a little 20-minute presentation so people could see what the Bob Baker marionette shows were like at this convention down in Long Beach. It was amazing. But what they hadn't thought of, the curators of this convention, was that it was going to take the Bob Baker team about 20 minutes to set up. And you had this full house of people, probably about 300 people, who came to hear us talk about the various things. Ghostbusters, scary, they wanted me to keep a lot of things scary. So I talked about the Ghostbusters scary. That's about as scary as it gets. The dog in the refrigerator and things like that. And I talked about it. And then one guy said something that really ticked me off, one of the other speakers, and I kind of went after him. In fact, that's where I met my dear friend Denise, and she said, boy, you didn't let him breathe. He was saying that puppets couldn't do what humans do. No, they can do so much more, right, Stephen? A puppet can be racist. A puppet can be a jerk. A puppet can be all these things that humans can't. They'll get dissed for it. And then the person can be with the puppet and actually teach. So if you have a puppet that's racist, you can teach him tolerance. And it's a really fun way to teach your lessons to people instead of, other ways you can do it. Puppets are just so flexible and wonderful and fabulous. And so I really took offense to the fact that he was going, puppets weren't as good as people. No, they're better in so many ways when you're performing. So I got a little miffed, and the people loved it. Must have been 300 people in the audience. I go, yeah, we love it because I kind of took that guy's. I mean, I wasn't really mean, but I certainly was. I was certainly direct, as you guys know me to be. And then Alex said, well, it's going to take me time to set up. And it was a lot of crickets. So I jumped down off the stage and told stories to people while they were setting up. And I said, you can ask me anything, but I'll just start telling you stories. And if that spikes something, raise your hand and I'll tell you most stories. And I sat there and told them stories for 20 minutes so that the Bob Baker Marionette Troupe could set up and not lose the audience. So what does that tell you? It tells you that, you want to be of service wherever you go. Okay. You just want to help these people out, these people that throw these conventions, these people that have the clubs, many of you out there that have clubs and gatherings that celebrate Ghostbusters or Disney or whatever. Should you ever have me as a guest, I'm there to help you out. Okay. I'm there to help you guys have a good show. And Josiah thanked me earlier because he has an amazing site called Disney Record Guy, and you can go to @Disney Record, as in spins records, looks like this, and Instagram. And he also has a YouTube channel, and he's going to be posting my interview. But we spoke for 3 hours because he had questions and I had given him the afternoon. And so for his podcast, I did that, and he's editing that now. He says he's sorry he hasn't put it up, but it's 3 hours of material. And then after he turned the recorder off, we spoke personally. He had a couple of personal questions he wanted to ask that would help him personally. And so we talked a bit about that. So if you have a podcast or you have a television show, radio show, or whatever, just know I'm going to be there at your service. I'm there to help you and your show be great. So how can I do that? How can I help you? Okay. All righty. So yes. So that's how it works. And that skeleton is adorable. Yeah. I wanted to say Monsterpalooza, but I don't think it was that. I think it was something Scream, but it was in, it was in Long Beach. That's all I remember. I remember that I had a great time, and I had tons of people run over to my booth and just say, thank you for having such a fun, sweet, not creepy, bloody booth. The guy across from me had a Dracula booth, and there were vampires and blood. And then there was a zombie booth and a place you could be made up as a zombie, and you could get cuts done. And they have face painting. Well, at this one, they had cuts that makeup artists would do. It was quite creepy. They would walk right up to you with their eyeball coming out or whatever, because it was a scary Halloween event. But mine was all Disney because, I only do a little of that scary stuff. I don't know why. That's what I do. Star Wars and Other Galactic Funk. Miko. Yes, I remember. You have it in digital format. Yeah. Guys, you probably could search it on your music stuff and find this stuff. Miko was great. I don't know if there were some other ones that they did Star Wars themes, but the one on the pipe organ is really one of the best. If you get the chance, in a church, they played Star Wars, and it was one of those with 100 million pipes. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I just collected them like crazy. I don't know why. I'm nuts. That's why. Jacob said, not to be rude or anything, but the Disney Imagineers, they had all these amazed advanced technology to do amazing stuff with now, but they won't do anything about it. In some cases, their hands are tied, okay? Not to defend them, but to defend them. Their hands are tied. And let's take, for example, this, Jacob, you bring up a really good point. Let's take, for example, Rise of the Resistance, okay? Rise of the Resistance, which if you haven't been able to get into it, I feel your pain. I wrote it once and it's amazing. But as Imagineers, this is what happens in the food chain. As Imagineers, we come up with a glorious ride, a ride that we think you're all going to love and you're going to be very excited. And it then gets approved by the powers that be. Many times that's not so difficult. And then Disneyland takes a look at it. And sometimes they're happy, sometimes they're not. And then when it finally gets to Disneyland, it's installed, it's there, and you get to see it. Disneyland will start to change it. Why? Because it's now their attraction. So in the case, and if you do not believe, so this is why I say, get out and see Rise. Well, right now during the pandemic, I don't know how much of Rise you get to see and how much is altered because of the pandemic. But see it as soon as you can if you haven't seen it. Many people saw it right when it opened. That's when I say, when you see it, you got to see an attraction right when it opened, because the parks will and can and will change it. If you don't believe me, imagine Indiana Jones at Disneyland when it first opened and take a look at Indiana Jones now. You will see the vast difference. And that is just because the park makes decisions onto what they will maintain and what they won't, what they'll keep and what they don't. And with Rise of the Resistance, those days are numbered, because if they decide they want to put more people through that attraction, they will start to shorten areas that are some of the best things about that attraction, because you are walking, and that cannot be overly regulated. You understand? So be sure you see it, because that's what happens. So in this case, Jacob, yeah, sometimes the Imagineers won't, sometimes their hands are tied. So, so I hear what you're saying, and in some cases, but a lot of times Imagineers do the best they can, and then we get stopped, or our budget gets taken. In the case of, I was working hot and heavy during the time of Michael Eisner, and Michael Eisner kept taking from our budget to make a movie. So one day I'd come in and Paris would have this much money available, and the next thing you know, he cut $1 million off of it. And we're like, what is it? And the people above us, you got to get rid of something, guys. We can't build the ride like it is now because you don't have that money anymore. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff, right? Yeah, that might have been it. Screamfest, Stephen. You all are still trying to guess. I wish I could tell you what it is. I will try and find the program, because a lot of times they say the program, but it could have been Screamfest. And it's really sad because the person who ran it is a doll. And of course, now my brain, it could have been Midsummer Scream, David. That actually sounds more like what it was, Midsummer Scream. I'm trying to remember when I went. I think I went. Yeah, you could be right. That could have been it, David. It sounds, I'm feeling that one. Yeah, Mimo, they did. You're absolutely right, Jacob. It's great to for you guys to pass through with that. I know what you meant, but I'm glad you corrected it, because others may not. Miko did a Wizard of Oz album. Yes, the Portland Puppet Museum does a show of it using life-size puppets. It's a big hit during Pride Month. That sounds cool. See, Stephen is a puppet guy. He really knows all puppets, he studies. Yeah, Stephen is quite something. And he's part of the tribe. So, sometimes he comes and sometimes he sits with us, but it's really pretty. Hey, there they are. I was wondering if the Crumpet Puppet Troupe was going to join us today. I'm glad you're here. So, excellent. So to wrap it up, guys, happy holidays. I hope you're enjoying yourself, and I'm hoping the holidays are coming together for you in a wonderful and whimsical way, no matter what it is. Thank you again to those who sent me a gift, a card, a nice thing. I don't send cards out. I barely put up a Christmas tree, meaning I don't. We're going to light the front of the house because we're feeling the pressure of our peers. My artist neighbor next door finally did that. So we'll probably do something like that. But basically, I'm here. I'll be here Friday. Please join me again for Ask Me Anything Friday, and I'll show you some things. Happy birthday to Dick Van Dyke. Thank you for the gifts. Thanks for doing something nice for someone, me in this case. or doing nice for someone else, it'll make you feel a whole lot better. If you're depressed or feeling sad, this is the season where you're feeling kind of down. Think of a person you haven't spoken to in a while that you could just call up and say happy holidays to. And you can do that. You know, we have a dear friend who's in a convalescent hospital that we're both talking about. We want to go see. We haven't seen him in a couple of weeks, and it would be nice to go and see him. And then we know that's going to make him feel good. Maybe we'll take him a little something. But the point is, it doesn't have to cost dollars for you to do something nice. If you got a couple of bucks, you're in line at Starbucks, buy a coffee for the stranger in the car behind you. You know, say their bill is on me, you know, or whatever. Okay. You can do simple stuff that doesn't cost a lot of money, and it'll make someone feel good. And that's going to be like the Grinch in your heart. If you're feeling depressed, your heart's going to get bigger and feel good because you're taking it off of you and putting it onto someone else. And so I want to thank you for taking the time to do that for me. I'm in the middle of some really heavy deadlines, and Sunday I had a little tiny meltdown, and luckily, my husband was there to pick me up and put me in front of the new Shaun the Sheep from Aardman, and it was great to see it together. And so I want to thank you. Okay, thank you. I will be here Friday. Merry Christmas, Crystal. So come and see me on Friday. So sorry for my comment about it. No, Jacob, don't apologize. No, take that back. I would never want to be rude. You are not. I also try to be kind. If everyone in the world was like Terry, it would be a better place. You're so sweet. No, Jacob. Okay. This is for everybody, including Jacob. Okay. You have a right to your opinion, and please share it with me. The only time I'm going to get after you is if you get personal in it. You know, you call somebody a name or something that hits them, not the comment. But the comment is a very good comment and makes me think about it and address it. So do not comment when you have an opinion. Your opinion, I value your opinion. I like when you have one, and I love it when we have opposing views so we can have a dialogue as long as we don't attack each other personally. That's the answer to a good dialogue, okay? And you'll see sometimes on Facebook, people get really personal with each other. You should not do that. This is why we love the United States of America, is being able to speak our minds and not catch heck for it, okay? We will, if it's an adverse comment, if you start to do comments that are hateful or mean or aggressive, yeah, they're going to come back at you. People are going to say, wait a minute, you crossed the line, okay? But hopefully they won't get personal. They'll just sort of let you know that you crossed a line, you know? So please, Jacob, no, I appreciate that comment. I really do. Hi, Tim Gillette. Did you like your present? Tim Gillette is my mentor. He helped me do this system where I can push and say, hi, guys, look. Oh, get that out of the way. Hi, it's a different camera. Yeah, he helped me to get my mind right so I could broadcast to you in a great way. And he also introduced me to StreamYard. So thank you, Tim Gillette. And so I sent him a little gift. I found this gift that I just couldn't resist sending him, and I just sent it. I barely even told him. I just was like, Tim, guess what? You're getting a gift in the mail. And he just wrote to me and told me that he liked it. So thank you for joining us, Tim Gillette. Blog and Video Con, Simple Easy Marketing. If you guys are looking to be a part of this whole internet scene and you need a helping hand, you need light in that dark room shined, Tim Gillette is your man, okay? So please, I would love for you to come and join us over there. Love to all, Michelle Grinnell. He loves my mug. Yeah, it's so cute. It's so him. It's so him. It's really, seriously, it's really him. You're going to make all your deadlines, Terry. You got this. Thank you, Michelle Grinnell. I am. That is so sweet. Thank you. I felt that back rub too. Thanks, Michelle. That was really nice of you. That really felt good. Thank you so much. See you Friday. If you're on the tribe, Terry's tribe, we got our Zoom call Wednesday. So do not delay. Join us if you can. Love to have you there. Your voice means something. I love you. Happy holidays. Leo says, later, make it Memories Monday. I think that's great. Again, one more shout out, everybody. Happy birthday, Dick Van Dyke. Woo! All right, everybody. We'll see you soon. Take care.